any rate, I'm going to let Asia try to talk to you. Don't forget to send her good energy because she needs to heal. Please give a warm welcome for Asia Voight.
Thank you. This is the voice.
I tried. The face one. In August, we couldn't have a meeting because they redid the electronic stuff in this hall. And since then, everything has been horrible. That's all I can say. I will try to find somebody who can turn it up. Go ahead.
All right. Hi, everyone. I have been keeping my voice quiet since yesterday in order to be able to have it sound this awesome and deep. So I'm so glad I'm here, and all week I've been coughing, and boy, these abs, you know, are like steel now. And taking my essential oils and my herbs and every kind of thing, so I could be present. And I feel so honored and privileged to be here with all of you. And so we'll see how long this holds out. I have a lot of throat lozenges there. And can everybody basically understand and hear me okay right now? Okay, good. So I want to tell you a little bit about myself and what we're going to be doing here with our time together. And of course, I'm going to be talking about my near-death experience, which is really incredible. And I've heard when I was sitting up here earlier, a number of you here have also had near-death experiences. And mine was 25 years ago. And the intensity of it just doesn't end. You know, every time I speak about it, it's so profound and vivid within me. And I really love that that has happened for me. Sometimes, though, when you've had a near-death experience, your friends or something is talking about, you know, someone being really sick in the hospital, they might die. And actually, my assistant's husband had an emergency visit because he had a reaction. And totally upset and crying and thinking, oh, he might be going to heaven soon. Oh my God, this is great. I mean, oh, I'm really sorry you're bowing your head up. Sometimes you sound a little inappropriate when you've had a near-death experience and the other person doesn't understand that. You know, they're in utter despair that their loved one might be dying, and you're just visualizing, you know, the heavens and the expansive, vivid landscape that they're going to be visiting soon, right? Yeah, like, right? You know? So I always have to catch myself and make sure, like, oh, you know, like really be there with them. But inside, I'm thinking, oh, it's their turn, you know. And I'm really glad that I'm here. But when it is my turn to go, I'm like, bye. You know, I'm like, yeah, I just can't wait. It's really exciting. So, very different from the first time around. So the other thing about me is what I do in my work is that I work as a professional animal communicator. And that has been my full-time job for the last 15 years. And it is really incredible. So I communicate with animals that are living on the earth, plane, and also animals that have died. So whether if your cat, dog, horse, or gerbil, you know, passed over a month ago, or whether it was 40 years ago. So I'm still able to access their soul and help you find out exactly what's going on with them, what they're thinking about, any lingering questions that you never got answers for. You can receive those answers. So I really love the work that I do, and I have clients all over the world. And because it's telepathic, I don't need to have the animal next to me. And 95% of the animals that I work with, I don't see. I don't see the people either. And most of them are done over the phone. So depending on how the timing goes here and how my voice holds out, we might have an opportunity to communicate with someone's animal here today. Is anybody interested in that option? Whoa! Oh, I guess that's a yes. Okay. All right, great. So I'll have to make sure and squeeze that in. All right. So what I want to start with is a little bit about what was happening in my life before my near-death experience, and then the near-death experience, and then what happened afterwards. And so many critical starting places. Well, I was raised as a Lutheran, Christian Lutheran in a parochial school, and I went to Sunday school. And as a child, I was already very intuitive, and I communicated with animals and angels and nature and spirit beings all the time. And I really thought everyone was doing that. And when I was 5 years old and I was playing outside with an older girl, she was 8 years old, and this golden colored dog leaped over by us, and I was just repeating what it was saying. It was like, my family is so loud. I just have to run away from those group of people at least once a day, because I can't stand them. You know? Even though, well, I love them, but they're so noisy and right? So I'm just saying that out loud, and then my friend who's 8 said, wait a minute, how did you know that about this dog? Because you're only 5 and you're not allowed out of your yard. Remember that when you were 5, you couldn't leave your yard? And she said, I actually live over by those people, and they are really noisy, but how did you know that? The dog is saying that right now. You can't hear the dog? You can't hear what he's saying? And he's like, no. Wow. A very pivotal moment for me, because I really thought everybody was communicating with animals. Why wouldn't they? It's the most exciting, incredible thing on the planet to be able to talk to squirrels, or birds, or guinea pigs, chickens, all of it. And she said, well, nobody talks to animals. And she said, you know what? Not only that, if you tell them that you do, they're going to think you're weird. So you better keep it to yourself. I went, oh. And I was that type of child where I went, oh, okay. Right. So next time when I come back and I redo this life, I'm going to go, I don't care if they think I'm weird, I'm going to tell everybody I talk to animals. Right? Yeah. So that was a moment of really deep sadness. And I did keep it to myself, and I thought, what are people missing out on? What is going on with their lives? How can that be? So I continued communicating with the animals, and then in the background of all of that is my dear mother, who tried so hard, but really lived in a life of fear, and it was really tied up in, if you do not behave, God will punish you. And so I saw her saying that to my older brother, who became involved with drugs. And instead of addressing the real reason why he became involved with drugs, which had to do with my father, and my father's crude ways of dealing with his children, and his own abusive past, carried forward. So instead they said, God is going to punish you for doing drugs. And I just remember that conversation. He was 11 years older than I am. Like, oh my gosh, how does my mom know that? How does my mom, she must have a really incredible bond with God, right? And then a week later, my brother got beat up. And I remember him coming in the house with blood all over his clothes, and I thought, oh my gosh, my mom really can talk to God. And if she waves that finger at you, it's over. Right? So I worked so hard to be such a good little girl, I took dancing lessons, piano, baton twirling, and cheerleading, and pom-poms, president of my homeroom, president of my class. I did it all, right? But was it really enough? No. And especially when I was a teenager, I just decided it was too much with all the animals. It was too much hearing everything because I started hearing people's thoughts.
In True Blood, she does that.
Yeah, and anybody here grew up in a family who didn't say what they meant? Yeah. So I started hearing two conversations all the time. Right? What the truth was, and then what was coming out of their mouth. Now, if anybody says anything is crazy, it's that. That's crazy. You know, communicating with animals is wonderful. Communicating with people who have died, most of the time, that's pretty wonderful. Angels, great. Trees, plants, love it all. But people, and hearing two conversations at once, no, get me out of here. So I didn't have a teacher. I didn't know who to talk to, and I just thought, I want this turned off. Just turn it off. That's what I said. And it did. Wow, it's really quiet. Really quiet, and I felt very alone. And when I think back in my life now, everything that I've been through, probably the most painful part was those about 10 years where my intuition was turned off. I couldn't hear what the cats and dogs were saying anymore. I couldn't hear my spirit guides or angels. Wow. And so that's when I threw myself into all those activities. Enjoyed it, but I still felt empty inside. And so you've all heard this wisdom before, right? That connection really comes from within. And that's exactly what I have done. And really relating to spirit and knowing that you are so much more than your physical body, that you have all this wisdom and this connection available to you. So then another ringer happened in the family and really threw my mother off. So I'm in my early 20s, and I came in and I said, Mom, I have discovered love. I know why love songs are written now. I get it, this is so wonderful, and I can't wait for you to meet my new love. I mean, you've already kind of met them, but I'm really ready to tell you now because this is the one, this is for sure. It's incredible. Whoa, isn't that Steve you've been dating? No, her name is Lisa. A little black hair, you know, Lisa? She ran for her Bible. Finger, right here, right? This one. And you know, now when I think about it, it's been 27 years since that moment. And I get so sad because I think she's still holding on to her Bible. And not me. Not me. I don't have my mom, It makes me so sad. And all that fear that people preach about with the Bible, I'm sick of it. And excluding others. That's not a family. If one person is excluded, it's not a family. It's not. So look in your life. Is there places that you're excluding someone or a part of yourself? Right? We can't have wholeness in this world with this happening. So my mother started screaming, grabbed the Bible, called my minister. He came over, and they spent the next couple hours telling me that I was going to hell. And I was terrified. I've been raised with this. I saw it happen to my brothers when my mom would say something to them. Now it was not only my mom, but it was the minister. I had been a part of that church for 20-some years. And he just went on and on and on about, you are going to hell.
Oh my God.
And my mom kicked me out of the house. And I went from being the pom-pom, cheerleading, baton twirling, president of my homeroom, president of my class, almost queen, homecoming queen. Okay, I lost by a few votes. To being the black sheep of the family, possibly on drugs, possibly delusional, like in minutes. So I left, and then, she told my brothers about this, and they all agreed with her. And I was not allowed to see my nephews and nieces. I didn't even get visitation rights. I was just thinking about that. I mean, it was like I was in jail. When you're at least you're in jail, they come visit you, don't they? Nobody came to visit me. And so now all my nephews and nieces don't know me. 20 years before they let me talk to them.
Wow.
Yeah. It's happening out there. So I went about my way. I went off with my girlfriend. And she was an artist. And she really taught me a lot and awakened my artistic ability. And she said, let's get in a band and let's be hippies and make art. I'm like, yeah, okay. So I got like this hippie dress, and my hair was really long, and I had my hippie makeup on, right? I had that walk, right? And I sold t-shirts out of my van with my hippie dog. It was great. And then we decided Wisconsin was too cold. It didn't really work to live out of your van and sell t-shirts that way. All right, well, let's go to Key West, Florida, right? Have anybody been here to Key West, Florida? Yeah. T-shirts is the happening artistic place. So I set out with my 2 dogs, my girlfriend, my van, and 2 acquaintances. I had seen them around Madison, Wisconsin. They were headed to Guatemala. Yeah, total hippies. And we were going to give them a ride to Florida, and then they were going to fly the rest of the way. They were going to help drive and share gas. Great. Off we go. And we're pretty much driving straight through. We get to North Florida, and it's starting to get warm, and it's the green grass, and it's so wonderful. And trying to decide. There's so many stories within this story, so I'm gonna add this one. I don't always talk about it. So we stopped to get gas, and for some reason I was the only one who needed to use the bathroom. And so I went in, and a little stinky gas station bathroom. You know, the really scary kind of girls, okay? Yeah, especially us women. I don't know about you guys, but those, no, they don't have those gross bathrooms anymore, hardly anywhere, but they used to have them 25 years ago everywhere. So I go in, I'm like, right, going inside, and it stinks, and it's little, and the stalls look like baby poop, it's just on there, and I'm the only one in. I go down, I clean the bathroom, and all of a sudden I hear that little door of the bathroom. Bam! Boom, 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 boom. Big feet, like a monster walking in the door. I'm like, what the heck? I go under. A son comes into the stall next to me. Big feet, like man's boots. Yeah. Wait a minute, I don't remember seeing an out of order sign on the, on the men's bathroom, right? What is this guy doing in here? I'm starting to panic a little bit, like thinking about how can I escape, right? Is he gonna hurt me? Okay. So I'm like, go to the bathroom, come on, go! Right? Hurry up, I'm trying to get going. All of a sudden I feel like a pressure against my head. And for a second I thought that his hand had reached over the stall wall, but it hadn't. And then I hear, are you ready? Are you ready? I don't know, am I ready for what? Who are you? How are you touching me, but your hand isn't touching me. Are you ready? Are you ready for this big event that is coming up? Are you ready? Are you prepared? No, I don't know that I am. I don't know what you're talking about. What event? Who are you? Nothing. Be prepared. We are there for you. It's coming soon, very soon. But we're there to support you. I quickly finish up. I run out of there. I slam the door. I keep running. I don't even look back. Get in the van, start heading out. So we're driving along, going down the freeway, and it's getting warmer. So I had on a little t-shirt, and I had these shorts on, these retro plaid shorts. You know the kind I'm talking? They were so hip, they were like my favorite shorts in the whole world. But they had a huge silver zipper on them. And I kept hearing, take them off, get comfortable, it's hot, just be in your t-shirt. I'm like, just, I had a little bed in the back of the van, just relax. I'm like, why would I take my shorts off? It wasn't something that I normally did. I just kept hearing, take your shorts off, take your shorts off, hurry up. Okay, so I'm resting in the van, in the back, and suddenly the woman who was driving, Maya, she said, hold on everyone, the traffic is getting really intense and I'm going to have to slam on the brakes. So sure enough, she slams on the brakes, and it's an old van, it's green, we can hear, right, the tires are almost bald, and we're craning our nuts from the back looking up, and she stops inches, just inches from the vehicle in front of us. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, great, everything's fine. It wasn't. The van was windowless, and coming behind us, speeding over a hill.
Please, burn them off.
Our band. There you go. So speeding over a hill was a semi, carrying stone in the back of his rig. And he comes over the crest of the hill and sees all of us stopped there. It was one of those highways that you're going 55, 60 miles an hour, and the next thing you know, you're in town. That's what it was, but right over this hill. And so he sees us all down there and slams on the brakes, and we're just reclining in the back. I'm thinking, everything is fine, right? Everything is fine. And he smashes into us, and I go slamming forward, and the semi jackknifes hits us on the side again, kind of spins us around, and there's everything all over the place, but I'm actually okay. So I wasn't injured on the impact. And then my first thought was, oh great, I'm half naked and I'm in a car accident. Where are my shorts, right? I need some clothes to get on here. I just have this little t-shirt on. I couldn't find anything. That was really weird, because my van was filled with my clothes. I couldn't find any of my clothes. So I thought, okay. And my next thought was get the necklace. Now my girlfriend had just given me this beautiful necklace for Christmas. Sterling silver, the moonstone, 5 crystals hanging from it. I love that necklace. And sure enough, I look over on the shelf in the van, and it's still there. I'm gonna get the necklace. Oh my God, right? It's right there, I'm gonna get it. So I go to grab it, and I can't. My hand is stopped. So I go again. I can't get the necklace. So I look up this force, and there is an angel. And now I know a lot of people think like angels are kind of like pink and cotton candy and super sweet. Not usually. He says, "Get to the front of the van, leave it." But deeper and more Old English, right? I'm like, okay. And my girlfriend's like, "What's wrong with you? Move it. What are you staring up for? What's wrong with you? Go, move." Like, she couldn't see the angel. It shocked me. Beautiful robes. I wasn't really sure if it was a man or a woman. Right? Kind of androgynous looking. So we tried the side of the van doors to get out there. It was up and up and couldn't budge anything. And in the meantime, we're hearing outside Maya, who'd been driving, we're hearing her say, "Hurry up, get out. There's fire. Things are starting on fire. Hurry up, get out." So we quickly moved to the front of the van, and there was just stuff all over the place. And by the time I got up to the front, there was already smoke and flames surrounding me. Great. What happened to going to Key West? Right? What happened to that? So then, everything started in slow motion. Has anybody ever had that experience before? Ah, a lot of you here, great. Time became altered. And I'm sitting in front of the captain's chairs. I'm trying all the doors and windows. Nothing else would open. And I'm thinking, how on earth did Mike, her boyfriend, and Maya get out? Mike was like 6'3". He was very thin. And Maya was maybe like 5'4", 150 pounds. You know, kind of a little full-bodied. How did they get out? Well, then I noticed through the smoke a little window on the driver's side. I mean, not much. And I was about, at that time, I was probably about 15 pounds smaller than I am now, and I didn't think I could fit through it. But they weren't there. And later on, Maya said she felt like she went right through the door. So I thought, well, I guess this is the end for me. I'm going to let the smoke take me over, and then I'll just faint, and this will be the end of my life. And during this time, I don't know what was going on with Lisa, my girlfriend. I know she was back there somewhere. You know, the whole thing was probably maybe 3 seconds, but to me it felt like maybe it was 10 minutes. So I'm like, oh, forget it, and my guardian angel's like, no, get up. You are going to live this time. Did he just say this time? What do you mean this time? You mean I've done this before? Oh yeah, this is I think your 3rd time. I've been in a car accident 3 times that involved fire. And you died all the other times. And this one, you knew you would be weak. And you sent me to make sure I was going to be here, powerful and strong, to help you get out and live. Wow. I don't remember that. So there. Maybe it's just a bunch of BS you're telling me. Forget it. I'm going to die. All right, leave me alone. They don't leave you alone, do they? No. So we had a little conversation about my other lifetimes and about claiming my power and not my fear. I went, all right. So he said, we're going to go out this window, and I'm going to help you get out the window, and then you're going to jump through the flames, and then, you know, we'll go on from there. So I get out the window, and there is a wall of flames in front of me, and again I'm going, I don't know, this is really intense. And I could barely see that there was some kind of a gray cement thing right there. And you know, later on I learned that if I would have jumped maybe 6 inches more that way instead of that way, I would have went over the overpass and landed, you know, 25 feet below one of the cars that were going past out there. And I remember him like kind of blocking this area. No, jump that way. I'm like, well, it looks like there's a little less fire over here, though. No. Mm-mm. That way. Go. Hurry up. He can, they can only hold time for so long, right? So I did. I jumped through the flames, and here is the most beautiful story. I was terrified of fire, right? Lesbian, I'm a Christian, went against the Bible, went against my mother. Lesbian, going to hell, fire, damnation. Here I am in the middle of the fire. And I remember thinking, this is going to be awful, right? This is part of my punishment right here. I'm sure there's more later, but this is the beginning of hell damnation. And everything stopped again in the middle of the flames. I can't even say this without crying because it's so beautiful. First of all, that the fire has an intelligence. Elements have a wisdom. So this fire goddess came to me and she said, I love you. I'm here to help you transform your life, to heal and open to a whole nother level for your soul that you have never known. That is the gift I am for you. And when the fire came, I just felt her love. And I said, not my face, though. Get away from the face. You can't have the face. And no body parts, okay? Oh, she went, all right. And my left leg was the most severely burned. And she said, you're not going to remember this until much later. Because you need to be mad at me. You need to have something to be mad about, to have a passion and anger about, to help you move through all these other stages. But eventually you will. And she said, we met before. And I forewarned you about this meeting when you were 5 years old. Like you did? She said, more about that another time. Yes. She said, it's time to go back into present time. And your angel and I will help birth you out of this fire back into the world. Here we go. Deep breath. Back into present time. Things are speeding up. Bam, I land on the grass. People rushing me because there were police officers sitting at a donut shop. Saw the accident was going to happen. Immediately, they saw that semi speeding over the hill, called the ambulance, called other cops. So right away, there were people there to help, and I thank them for that. So I reluctantly got on that little hard board, that they put you on. You think you're just going to fall off that thing. They get in the ambulance, and then they gun it. I was just in a car accident and now you're speeding. Slow down. But David wasn't. We get to the ambulance, the emergency room, and there they say to me, what's your parents' phone number? Do you have relatives? Who can we call? And my girlfriend is going, don't tell them. Don't tell them. Uh-oh. What do I do? Right? What would you do? There you are, you have your parents on one side who are not going to be surprised at all that you were burned in a fire. Right? You're going to go, my mom's going to go, I knew that. And then you have your girlfriend on the other side who's kind of like a punk rocker, very different than me. But she just couldn't handle money, bless her heart. I always had to hide the rent money on her. But I knew my mom would take care of me. I'm probably not going to have a girlfriend if I give them my parents' phone number. But I don't think my girlfriend can take care of me, and I know that my mom will. Because I'm going to need it. So thank God they had the same phone number for the last 20 years. And I gave him the phone number. My girlfriend went quiet, felt betrayed, and I passed out. And I wake up in the intensive care burn unit at Shands Teaching Hospital in Gainesville, Florida. I was there for about 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But they told my mom that I was going to be there for 6 months. I got home 3. So they told my parents, your daughter has a 3% chance to live. If she lives, she will be 98% disabled. Her legs are not moving. There's severe damage in her left leg, nerve damage. Complications with her arms and her hand. This is going to be a really long journey. So I really knew that I was on death's door. And many times it was, I just had one more breath. Woo, I'm still alive. Okay, and here's another one. Great. Wow, that was incredible. I just had another breath. Right. It was down to that moment by moment by moment. And during those 3 months, I had 11 surgeries. And they just couldn't wait any longer before giving me another one. You know, they tried to have me recover a little bit. And I want to right now formally thank all the blessed pigs in the world because I had pig skin on me that was keeping me alive. Did you guys know that?
No.
Yeah. Thank you, pigs. And in the meantime, they're taking where I had good skin and patching up. So even where I wasn't burned, it's like a quilt of donor sites to patch up the other sites. And so I was thankful for their care. I was on a respirator. And this is, I knew, again, I was very close to death so many times. But this particular moment, suddenly the alarm goes off, right? And occasionally, I was the one who set off that alarm. Because when you're in the hospital and you can't move anything, you can't do anything except bite. Sometimes you just want to bite. So I would have that air piece in my mouth, and I would just, look what I can do, right? And the nurse would come over and rub my cheek. Stop that. You're gonna die. Stop. All right. But in this particular day, the alarm went off because the air stopped going into my lungs. Even with the machine pumping it, it wouldn't go in anymore. So the alarm went off. I could see I wasn't biting. Next thing, another alarm goes off. Everybody is rushing towards me. And I thought they must have taken my oxygen. Yep, because if I can't breathe, you must have it. So it's over. So I'm going like this at them, and they're doing whatever. And you know, it's a weird thing about not being able to breathe, because you're just like, that's it, there's no way here. And I know if any of you are afraid of dying, okay, it's not pleasant for a few minutes there. But you have to remember, and I want you to program yourself right now. Like if you ever find yourself in that situation, right, you can't breathe, there you are, there's no more air, look around. Because there will be a door or a window or a person or an animal that wasn't there before that is now. They will always be there to help you. You don't have to worry. So there's no air. I couldn't get any air. I look over to my right, where normally there was a curtain, where a woman named Katil had been living. And now there was a door. So I thought, I'm going to go over there. So I remember getting out of my physical body, and I still don't believe that I could walk at that moment. I crawled on the floor, and there was a sash of the doorway, and I crossed the sash, and I felt a slight up and over. I could breathe. I was standing, and I look. I'm like, hey, that thing is gone. It's perfect. My skin is perfect. And I had kind of these like linen, eco clothing on. Undyed, right? Neutral tone. I think maybe the pants were kind of blue. But I was in this space. I didn't have the light, right? You probably hear so many, they went in the light, they went up and up and up and up. No. I just went up and over, and I was on the other side. But I was in a starlit space. Right? Have you ever been out in the country, camping maybe, and there's no lights around, right? And it's just filled, that dark space that's just filled with stars. But it's beautiful, it's peaceful. Even though it's dark, you're not frightened. So I just start walking. I'm like, oh, this is nice. And I look at the floor, and the floor is even black. But it looks like it has a little layer of water on it, shimmering. So I'm walking along, and I see in the distance 3 people coming towards me. And in my mind's eye, I hear, greetings, welcome. And I thought, oh, that's how I used to talk to the animals. That's how it sounded inside here. Not through my ears, I heard them inside my body. And I'm like, oh yeah, do I know how to telepath back? Like I had turned it off because I was hearing relatives. But do I have to like quickly go and take a class? I didn't, did I? I just had to say, oh yeah, turn it back on. I want to talk to them telepathically. Boom, there it was. So it really taught me that telepathy is our first language. We all know this. You already know how to talk to animals. Spirit guides, angels. It's built into your soul. So I started communicating with them, and they said to me, we are ascended masters. Now, when I went to Grace Lutheran, I never heard anything about ascended masters. Did any of you guys hear anything about that in church? No. So they came closer, and I didn't hug them. We did not embrace. I felt like they were teachers, like university professor teachers. It's 2 men and a woman. And they started talking to me a bit, and all of a sudden I thought, wait a minute. Uh-oh, oh my God. I think there's a mistake. Because this is so beautiful here, and it feels so good, and they're so nice to me. They just want to talk to me, but wait a minute, they must not really know who I am. And suddenly all the fears of my mother and my minister came flooding back to me. And I started to cry, and I said, I think I'm supposed to be in hell. I'm a lesbian, and I think I'm in the wrong place, so we might as well just get this over with. They just chuckled like that, too. They're like, huh? I'm like, the Bible, and the whole thing, and my mom, and, all that. They're like, we don't care. It's not an issue to us. It's missing the point. They're missing the point. We're not going to dwell on that. We're here to help you. We're here to teach you. We're not here to judge you. That is the last thing we want to do, is to judge you. they said, we want to first start with, and now I've had a really long near-death experience. And I didn't realize that. I was actually interviewed to be on the Dr. Oz show. And they interviewed 8 of us, and then I made it to the top 4, and then they picked the top 3. I know. But she was so nice to me, and she called me back up and she said, well, your near-death experience was so incredible, and it was so long. I could have shortened it, I could have cut out like 20 spots. And she had asked her, what was my time limit, and I could be in the Dr. show. So that's when I started thinking like, oh, I guess it wasn't that. Most people's near-death experiences aren't that long, I guess. And then later when I thought about it, I hadn't even thought about that. Actually, when I came back to my physical body in the intensive care, the staff was gone. Everybody was gone. So it must have been a while. You know, I was stable and they just left. So anyway, there I am, and they're teaching me, and they said, we want to start with your past lives as a teaching tool to help you with your current life now. And I'm like, there's that past life thing again. I was not raised that way. You get one life and it's heaven or hell. That's it. Haven't you read like Grace Lutheran booklet or something? I'm like, my guardian angel was talking about that. They're like, exactly. And we're going to dive into that some more. And actually, are any of you familiar with Dr. Brian Weiss? Really, isn't he the kindest man? I have 2 of my stories in his newest book. Yeah, Miracles Happen. I actually tried to get a bunch of those books and I wasn't able to. But just, you know, it's a wonderful book filled with stories. And one of them, and I'm going to tell you right now, is in that book. So they said, you're living a life currently with a lot of fear. And we want to help you see how you can be in many different situations. Still tell someone, you know, yes or no, but not being in fear. So they showed me a picture. I was a man, kind of like Egypt, where one person controlled the grain for the whole community, and that was me. And so people would come in, and, you know, they had certain rations, but then other people would come in and say, I need more. Or they were from a different area, and they said, well, we ran out in my area to live. So the first part of the lifetime, a woman came in, asked for grain, and I'm like, no, get out of here. You've had enough. Go on. And she's like, no, please, I'm going to die if you don't give me something. No, move on. Get out. Shut the door. So then the Ascended Master showed me, when she went back outside, what happened between her and her family. Right? Her son, get off me. She continued that anger that I had sent to her. So in the next scene, slightly different type, I also control the grain. Here comes a woman in, begging for more grain. And this time I'm kind and loving to her. And I say, I'm sorry, I cannot give you any more. Bless you. And let me help you out the door. And I help her out the door. And then they show me how the love continued, even though it was a no, and it was pretty much the end of her life, that she embraced her family with the same love that I had just given her. So they said, even though you said no to both of these women, you see how you did that differently. And so they said, how can you apply that to your life now? How could you be speaking with someone, even though you have to tell them, no, I don't want to do that, or no, you can't have that, or no, I can't give you $10, or I'm not going to drive you to the store, and still say no with love and compassion. So that was really a huge lesson for me at that time. So I had that lesson. And then my old fears crept back. Whoever experiences that in your life, you think, I've got this one nailed. I'm over that. I was a baby back then. Now I'm mature, I've been through 10 years of therapy, and it's over. But it comes back, doesn't it? So suddenly I find myself with the Ascended Masters again, and I started arguing Bible passages. Ah! And they're like, oh, not again. But because they're so kind and loving, they continue to be loving to me. And they look at each other and go, we have an idea. So they step to the side, wave their hand like this, and suddenly this beautiful light moves towards me. And it looks just like the northern lights, right? Blues and purples, violets, shimmering and moving. And it said, my child, bless you, I love you, rejoice. I'm like, is this God? Yeah, yes, this is God. I'm like, you're a light. You're not a man. No. You're not a woman either. No. But I'm a man and a woman. I'm everything. I'm everything and I'm this light. And I said, you love me, really? Yes. And all of that love just infused in my body. And the next thing you know, everything opened in front of me, and it was like I was flying over the Grand Canyon. The colors were so vivid. It took my breath away. Golds and yellows, expansive. And God said, this is you. This landscape is you. You are everything, and everything is in you. There is nothing that is separate. And I just felt my heart open and expand, and I was filled with love, and I'm just flying in this space. And I'm like, this is great. Like, it wasn't just a concept. It was something that I knew. And then God continued to say, you are everyone and everything. And I'm like, I am. I'm the trees, and I'm the desk, and I'm the chair, and I'm your shoes, and I'm your bag, and I'm your glasses, and... Oh, but wait. Oh, no. I'm sorry, God. I'm drawing the line here. I am not my self-righteous mother. God went, oh, okay. And the light was gone, and I was standing on the black shiny floor with the 3 Ascended Masters again. Wait, can I take that back? No, it's over. Wow. So every time you judge something, every time you say, I'm not that, you diminish your own light. You diminish the connection to the light. Every time you say, I'm not that rapist, I'm not that murderer, I'm not Mitt Romney. But you are. We all are. Right? So that was a huge lesson about judging and saying, I'm playing the I'm not that game. So then we had a whole another long lessons about things. And the important part here is that they said, we want you to go back to Earth and reawaken your, childhood ability to communicate with animals, and go back to Earth and teach other people how to talk to their dogs and cats and horses. And because this is so important, it will really help the world heal. Because as you know, people who honor animals honor people, honor us. And the animals are there to assist you and teach you and support you. So, they said, well, will you go back? Will you do that? And I kind of looked down and over at my body in intensive care. Oh, man. That thing is a bloody, burnt, you're gonna recover. You're gonna awaken your intuition, and we're gonna guide you. You're gonna learn how to talk to the animals again. You'll be fine. And I said, but honestly, maybe if it was my path to be in a wheelchair, okay. But I was a dancer. I was a pom-pom girl. I'm gonna get back to that again, right? I don't know that I want to be in a wheelchair. Oh, you're not gonna. You're gonna walk. You're totally, really quick. We're gonna heal that. Okay. So I pop back. Oh, well, I gotta remember this part. So then I say, okay, it's time to go back. And all of a sudden, this wind starts blowing. The leaves are rustling. All of a sudden, this really big hand comes down next to me. I'm like, wow, right? An archangel. And the archangel said, back to your physical body. And did you ever see that movie, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids? Yeah, that's what I was like this little person in this big hand. And so the archangel took me back to my physical body in the hospital bed. And all of a sudden I opened my eyes, boom. And I'm like, this thing is so heavy. Do you realize how heavy your physical body is? And I look around, and there's nobody there. I'm on my machine and stuff, and all of a sudden, one of the, I don't know, she wasn't quite a nurse, but she helped pick up, kind of like the cleaning lady nurse. I'm not sure the exact title. And her name was Lydia. She comes over to me. She's alive! Everybody, she's alive! Asia's alive! She's alive! She fought off the devil. Fought off the devil. I'm like, Lydia, there was no devil. I really thought there was going to be, but there wasn't. It was beautiful and wonderful and incredible. There was no devil, Lydia. Stop saying that part. I didn't have to fight anybody. It was really great. And she didn't hear me. Oh, I fell asleep. They brought in a neurologist. He had this fancy machine in his cart. And now, one of the books that I did see, we didn't have up here, it's called Pearls of Wisdom. 30 Inspirational Ideas to Live Your Best Life Now with Jack Canfield. I have a chapter in that book, and that's up there. And I talked about this story. And the neurologist said, there's no feeling or movement in your left leg at all. A little bit in your right leg, 10% back in your arm. No. Mr. Neurologist, doctor, I know you have a really super duper fancy machine. I know you totally believe in it, but that's not my truth. So you can go now. Bye. He said, you're in denial. You need to accept this. You need to accept your life in a wheelchair. No, it's not my life. I talked to the Ascended Masters. It's not my life. So then my doctor came in, who had been a doctor, and he's kind of a cool guy. He's 75. And he said, well, I've seen a few people heal that. I've seen a few people heal something like that. Thank you, that's all I need to hear. That. So I integrated that. I reconnected with my guides. They're like, yep, oh yeah, you're free walking. Just, talk to your nerves, talk to your body. It's coming real quick. And 3 weeks later, I walked. And so in the meantime, with my mother, I told her about my near-death experience. All the passion and vividness that I could, just like I gave you here today. Do you think she believed me?
No.
She did. She did. Now it's been 27 years. Still clutches her Bible. Not me. And I'm like, wow. She's like, well, I know you want a death's door. Isn't that incredible? So since that time of having a near-death experience, I continue to not judge others. But do I? Yes. Do I point at someone's crappy car and go, oh my God, I can't believe you can get over 30 miles an hour on that thing, it's gonna fall apart. And then I'm like, stop that. Judging machines. And we can't help sometimes to comment about things that we see. But the piece is just noticing that and looking at ourselves and going, oh, you, stop that now, right? Come back to that place of love and centering and remembering that is me. That junky car is me, right? That person with the pink polka dots and the plaid bottoms that don't match, that is me. Right. And moving back. And I have been now communicating with animals professionally for 16 years. And that just is another journey that I'm working on my own book for. Sometimes I tell people I've been working on my own book for 4 years, but I think it's really 12. You too? 15? Yeah, okay. And now it's coming along. I teach classes now. I help other people learn how to communicate with their dogs and cats. And that spreads to angels and spirit guides. And it's always about finding and remembering that spirit, coming back to that place of being centered and love. I feel really excited about the direction that the earth is heading. You know, the awareness that's happening. So I think that's my story. Like it?
Amazing.
So I'm wondering if anybody has any questions about my near-death experience. Because usually when I ask this part, they want to say, what does my dog say? So about my near-death experience, yeah.
Why were you told to take your shorts off?
Why was I told to take my shorts off? Good question. This is another thing about the necklace that I couldn't grab. The necklace was made of sterling silver, and they said if I would have been holding that in my hand, it would have burned and melted and fused into my hand. And the same thing with the zipper, and that those pants, those shorts, were made out of polyester. And they said it was like 100 times better that you were naked than to have a synthetic fabric on. The t-shirt I had on was 100% cotton, which really saved my life. So that's why. Yeah.
The other question is, when you said you were going to revisit the story when you were 5 about the fire. There was another connection to the fire.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to hear that story? My parents' house was struck by lightning 3 times. And actually, it was like in the front yard. So one time when I was 5 years old, my father, he went to the one of his jobs where he was away. And so my mom said, oh, you get to sleep in the big bed. So I'm like, oh, great. And so that night, it was raining and humid. And probably around 2 in the morning, I hear, get up. Get up. This is so exciting. Get up. She's coming. She's going to come and talk to you. And there were these little fairies. And that was the most vivid time I connected with these little fairies. And they're like, hurry, run to the window. I go to the window and I'm just looking over the sash. And it's raining harder and harder. And I'm just looking out. And all of a sudden, kaboom, a big lightning strike hits the tree, a Dutch elm tree in the front yard. wet bark is flying off of it, everything turns purple, and within that purple, a woman appears. And her robe is as big as the whole landscape as I can see. And she said, I am lightning fire. And she said, I am fire that will come to you when you are an adult. And I want to let you know that I'm there, even though people are telling you that you deserve punishment. That's not true. I'm coming for love and transformation. I'm coming to help you. And I'm like, okay. Right? And so then off she went. So then later, actually, the other cool story is, it was maybe 4 years after the accident, and I was very angry yet, and still recovering, and I thought, I'm going to go to the source of fire, and I'm going to go and yell at her. So I happened to be looking at a yoga magazine, and a page in the back, and they said there was a trip to visit Pele, the goddess of fire. I'm so going on that trip, and I'm going to go to Pele, and I'm going to yell at her. So I go on the trip, and we go to the volcano, and I'm telling her how mad I am at her, and she said, oh, I'm not the one who came to you. Don't you remember? It was my sister. And then I had like a tiny little flash of when I was 5. Oh, okay. So I remember going to bed that night and praying and meditating on it. And then that's when that memory came back when I was 5 years old. And then she came to me again and she said, I'm sky fire. Pele is earth fire. I am the lightning sky fire. And we are different beings. We are different, goddesses and beings. So then I was like, all right, thank you. So, so many times I think we can go through phases in our life when we feel like things are against us. Something's not working out, this is against us. But what is the greater gift that we can find within that challenge? And so that's what they help remind me of. Great, any other questions?
Yeah, I would like to know a little bit about what you said when you were little and you realized that you could read people's thoughts. Because that's definitely the kind of thing that I've been going through with my youngest son. And I became aware of this because he would say them out loud. And when we have those kind of situations where you think something and then you stop yourself from saying it, and then the words come out of his mouth a beat later, and it happens so many times. But other members of the family have not experienced this, or they haven't noticed it. What I'm wondering is, could you just read everybody's thoughts, or could you read some people better than others? Did it matter how closely they were related to you, or were there differences, or could you perceive how that worked?
I've never been asked that question before. And when I think about it, I think it mainly was happening with my family. Because I'm thinking about when I went to school, I don't remember that happening there. And then as an adult, it started happening to me again, like 2 years after my car accident, where I had this woman who would come over and help me clean and organize my house. And we would be walking into one of the rooms, and I would go, oh, that's Bridget's stationary bicycle. She's like, I didn't even ask the question out loud yet. Could you stop that? And I'm like, oh, it's happening again. So sometimes it still does happen, and I just can't always control it. So I absolutely do not prefer that happening, though. And so I just always try to, in the day when I'm thinking about what I want to happen on that day, to really just hear with my ears what people are saying to me, because in our society, it's really not a good boundary to have that be happening. So I think with your son, where do you live?
We're in Skokie, nearby here.
Oh, near here. Because I'm in Madison. I did work with another young girl who was 5, who had a similar thing like that, and she came to my house. I usually don't see people at my house because I just, work over the phone, but I felt like she needed to come, and I was able to work with her energetically, how to control it. And she totally got it. Like I had one session with her, and then her mom called me a few weeks later and she said, it's fine now. Because it was happening inappropriately.
To control it, meaning you could choose, not that you shut it down,
Right.
but that you could choose when.
Yeah. Yeah, I was able to help her energetically, how to feel, how to scan, how to kind of create a dial for herself when that could be on and off. So the same thing could be done with your son, to help guide him and help talk to him about it, how it feels differently. And sometimes you still can't catch it, but at least if you can start the awareness, and I think that's incredible that he has such an awesome dad like you.
There are.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so many hands up. Okay, I'm gonna stick with the front here.
I'm
Pardon?
surprised you went there for minutes and it's cold there. I thought you
What
wanted to get away
minutes?
from the cold.
I was thinking.
I thought you wanted to get away from the cold. I'm surprised you went there from Wisconsin.
Oh, I did. I know, I say that all the time. Very great. You had a question over here?
Yeah, so the reverse of, can you help people to open the communication?
Oh, right, yes. So that is the one thing that I love as a teacher. I've been teaching for 15 years, and most of my classes at first were in-person classes. And when I started, and my students, would go through the exercises, and they would just say, gosh, I'm just still seeing black. Or I know my dog or cat is trying to talk to me. I feel there's a really important message, but I'm not hearing anything. Why, Asia? We just went through this whole day, I'm not getting anything. And probably for the first many years I was a teacher, I didn't know what to tell them. I would say, well, keep practicing, breathe deeply, right? And so one day I was at another class and at a woman's house, and she had organized this whole class for me, and her daughter asked me that. She said, all I see is black. Why? And I could see the mother looking at me like, you better give her a good answer. I just organized this whole thing for you. I was up all night making food. You just better not tell her to breathe deep. So I'm like, okay, why is this woman only seeing black? Right, she can't hear her horse. And then it was like a door for me open. And they said, they showed me a picture of a man abusing her. And then I thought, what if this is the organizer's husband, right? This woman's father. This is going to be like really challenging situation. So then I asked my guides quick, I'm like, is this her father? They went, no, it's her husband. So I went, okay, have an answer why you're only seeing black. It's very personal. Do you want me to share it with the whole class? She said, yes. So I told her, and she burst into tears. And she said that she had just left him that week. And she said, yeah, I've been in an abusive relationship for 7 years. So for her, when she tried to open her heart, right, to the animals, it was just pain. So she couldn't. She just couldn't. So when my students come to me and they really want to know why it's not working, I can give them a precise and exact answer for them. Yeah, it is really cool. So I love teaching. And now I have a lot of teleseminars, so I can work with clients all over the world. And I'm going to be having another one coming up in the spring that's going to include video that I've already made and edited myself. I just think it's going to be absolutely the best class I ever teach in 15 years. So make sure that you get on the e-zine out there. It's a yellow piece of paper. Sign up for Asia's e-zine. Get your name, email address on there, and phone number, and print clearly, because I'm the one who's going to be typing it into the computer. So make sure then you'll be updated on events that I'm doing, and I don't send too many emails. Okay. So I'd love for anybody to, to get on that, find out what I'm up to. Great. One more question.
I just wanted to ask, so when you came off of the accident and you were starting to open up again, how did you know that you were going to do this, or how did you transition into helping people or working with people?
Yeah, I'm just smiling because it was a long process. And I remember actually when I went to that place in Hawaii to yell at Pele, and there was a spiritual teacher there who organized this event, and she said to me, Asia, you're a teacher. You will be teaching. You will be speaking in front of people. setting. I was so far away from that. I mean, I knew that's what my guides had told me, that I would be spreading this message around the world. I was so far removed from that. I felt so frail yet from my car accident. Literally, I'm growing muscle, I'm growing nerve yet. All this, problems with my family. I just kept plugging away at it. I just kept finding ways to heal myself. And I think every kind of therapy that's out there, I think I've done it. From art therapy to the punching pillows therapy to whatever it is, but it got that pain out of me. And so I could really do my soul's work and have my heart open. So it was many, many years. Yeah, it's great. And it reminds me of something else I wanted to mention to you, because Diane had told me that there was a number of you who shared earlier that you are part of rescue groups. And another really exciting thing that I'm in the very beginning stages of, but I've already made it through about 4 of 8 hoops, is that I have a TV producer interested in creating a reality TV show with me. Oh. Yes. And go ahead and applause for one of the things that I want to do, I had a proposal that I sent to her, and I had 3 show ideas in there, and the one that she liked the most would be something like extreme rescue makeover, where I would go to shelters and rescue centers and that are in need and bring the community together, just like extreme home makeover, but instead it would be at rescue centers and shelters. Yes.
Yeah.
So, yay! So I'm going to be probably the end of December and January organizing that. So if you are a rescue group or you know of someone, make sure again you get on my list, because I'm going to be sending out, and they want me to find shelters all over the United States. And so I have a lot of, I didn't even know that, like a lot of shows that are on TV, the actual host had to make the TV show. Okay, so I have a lot of groundwork that I need to do, and I'm so excited about it because I'm actually a radio, TV, film major. That's what my degree is in. Yeah, so I have a lot of other skills in that area, so make sure you get on my list, because I would love to find out about your rescue organization, how possibly we could have your whole, the fencing and where the dogs and the cats are totally redone, so it's magnificent, and get a lot of money for you. All right, so who wants me to talk to their dog, cat, or horse? Okay, and I have one rule. The one rule is, I have a microphone there. Okay, the one rule is that I think it would be great if I've never worked with you before. Okay? So go ahead and put your hand really high. If I've never worked with you before, you don't know me, you're very interested. Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to go here with Miss Wiggle. Yeah, I love wiggles and extra segments. So come on down. Down? All right, and let's go one more. So now that you know wiggling and excitement really entices me. Oh my gosh, who do I pick? Pink here. Okay, yeah. Okay, guys. All right, so I have a little form, so come on up here. And I'm going to have you, and you don't have to put your whole address, but just maybe the city. Put your name, and then your animal's name and brief description. And actually, you want to pull up one of those sheets, and she can start on that.
What was the name of Lightning Fire?
Oh, sorry, what's that?
What was the name of Lightning Fire?
Sky fire. Sky fire or lightning fire. Oh, right, yeah. So why don't you just go ahead and sit right there, and then we'll be ready for you in a minute.
Your voice is doing good.
Yeah, it is. It's holding up.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm over 40 now. This is Marissa. And, okay, you're a bash writer. Okay, Oak Brook. And Floco. American Eskimo. Now, are they all white Are they all white? They're kind of small, like 40 pounds or something?
A little bit smaller, smaller than 33 pounds.
Okay, okay. All right, great, so right in the ballpark, now, male. And do you have any other animals live with you?
No, I don't have any animals at the moment.
Okay, and do you have any other people that live with you?
No.
Okay, right. So that's just what I asked everybody. And also, she just wrote down here that Loco is 8, and he's a male. She's had him for 2.5 years. Okay, great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call for him to come and connect with me. And I'm smiling because as soon as I said his name and said, okay, I'm ready, he just came forward. And now he feels a little nervous with these people here. And but I said it's totally okay. And then he just comes like flying down towards you. And he loves you. And he said, I'm so incredible. He said, sometimes I just don't know what to do about it. And I'm so adored. He said, I'm so adored. He said, everybody always wants to connect with me. Like, you can hardly keep people away from him.
That's true.
He said, he's wondering, though, if you're going to stay living where you're living. Because he said sometimes he sees pictures of other places in your head, and he's wondering about that.
I don't believe so. I believe I'm moving.
Oh, okay. We have a little translation thing happening. Okay, great. So that's what he was saying, that you are thinking of moving. Why so many pictures, though? Why so many pictures in so many different places? Why?
Because I don't know where I'm going.
Okay. And that's what he's saying. Like, he shows me all these pictures, like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, it's a lot of activity, and it feels like you are so unsettled. And he says sometimes underneath that unsettledness, he feels some sadness from you. And he said, why were you sad? And he said, you were sad from quite a long time ago. And that you're still sad sometimes, and he just doesn't understand that. He said, what is that?
I don't know exactly the type of sadness. You're talking about could be the death of his father.
The death of your husband? Okay, so a human person. Okay. Loco, is that what you're saying about her sadness? He's like, yeah, that's pretty important when somebody dies, right? Your man dies, the man dies. And he said, like, how long ago was that? Because you're still sad.
2.5 years.
Okay, 2.5 years ago. And so he says, Asia, help me. Well, I mean, I bet we can all think of someone in our life or something that happened to us, and it took us quite a while to grieve, didn't it? And so I'm just explaining that it takes people time to get over, the loss of his daddy, and you get over that, and that's what this sadness is about. Okay?
Can I ask this? Maybe ask.
Do you have a question?
Yes, I have a question. I have been noticing that sometimes he's not on the bridge, somehow he's not there, and I know that he cannot open, and he has calls. I was wondering if there is any activity happening.
Okay, so something you're feeling like he can't open his mouth?
No, here. He has a leash and then a leash. And sometimes it's not locked in the leash, I don't know why.
Oh, about the leash. It comes on when you got the leash.
It comes undone by itself.
It comes undone. The leash comes off the collar by itself. How?
Oh, what that is about. Okay, great. So the question is collar and leash coming up. Okay. And he said, yeah, that's the man. That's the man who's doing that. And he said, he wants to tell you, I'm here. I'm here. I'm trying to say, I'm here. This is my special dog. And I'm here. And I'm here for you. I'm here for the dog yet. I have not gone away. And so he thinks that it's funny. Like he's making himself known to you. And sometimes you're like, hey, wait a minute. You're so sure that you put that on there. And then it's not. Yeah. So, yeah.
It's your husband.
anyone else is doing that, or just the person that passed the man?
Right now, I'm only seeing the man doing that. And I see a picture of him bending down. Like he is very kind, you know, like he's very carefully bending down. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go. Thank you.
She can talk to people briefly, but don't make her talk too much in the lobby, and we will be going to Ruby's Cyan over on Skokie Boulevard for dinner afterwards. Okay, so, and don't forget, next month is Renell Wallace, who also worked in a fiery plane crash. It will be a wonderful meeting. She's an exceptional person. Don't miss her.